Hey everybody, my name's Paul.
Hello, this is Bev. Hi, Paul.
Yes, sir. Hi, Bev. So my only job here is to pass on the ball to Bev, who is going to share with us about the full moon coming up here in the next day or two, right?
Tomorrow.
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 So
Yes.
if I have any questions, I'll pop in at the end. If you have any questions, you can always
Okay,
mark it there, and Bev will get back to you. So take it away.
I will. Okay. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, as Paul was saying, tomorrow, Sunday, February 1st, is the Aquarius Full Moon Festival, and it is at 3:10 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you're wherever you are, you can kind of adjust it to that. So just a quick note, remember at these full moons, we should always focus on the sun, which is the divine will. And at this time, it's in Aquarius, as we know. And we should allow our collective will, the collective will of humanity, or the moon, which holds that for us, which is in its polarity sign of Leo. So let that collective will come under the influence of that higher will. That's the whole point. And this is how we can contribute and participate once a month in these amazing festivals. This is the whole purpose for humanity to begin this practice. So this is why I do this with Paul's urging, I must say, to make these available to you each month. So I always like to talk about the polarity. That's what's going on here on the physical plane. So this Leo Aquarius polarity, it has everything to do with the urge to serve. Think about that, the urge to serve. Where does that urge come from? This relationship, it is an actual journey of an unfolding soul realization that eventually brings the personality life to ask a question, a twofold question. Who do I serve? Like I said, the answer is in two parts, so I will be unfolding those, so to speak, as we discuss these polarity. But before we delve into the particulars of each of these signs, I would like to just mention that Leo is considered a personal sign. And Aquarius, its polarity is impersonal, very impersonal. So we have Leo of fire. Fire is always, more spiritually based, more idealistic and all that. Aquarius is a very fixed mental sign. It is, the air signs are always more impersonal. They don't get as evolved emotionally. But this is the key to finding the middle way between the two. Remember, everything here is working out in a duality. And so our work here is always equilibrium. We must come and stand at the midway point, always between the two extremes. This is the path that talks about, the path. And we must experience both sides of the same coin, so to speak, and not get pulled in either direction. Be aware of both of the duality, but be able to stand at the center. This is the magic button of attaining peace of mind. When somebody says, "Oh, I have such peace of mind," well, real peace of mind is being able to not commit to one extreme or the other, but to stand at that middle point. So this is the work. That's why I'm kind of like talking about a little bit. So let's start talking about these two amazing signs. Leo is a fixed fiery energy. And remember, we're doing the unfolding story of light. And if you listen to the full moon of Leo, you remember that Leo is the light of the soul, which is really pertinent at this point. It's the natural leader of the zodiac, and it's ruled by the sun in all three of its aspects, which is the divine expression of the solar deity. The sun itself is an expression of the great being that is the solar system. So, in the early stages of soul evolution, Leo epitomizes that individualized ego, which is really conscious of only serving itself. All of its experiences and all of its focus is on serving me, the king, Leo, the king. It's all about me. But then at a certain point of consciousness in this journey, when the personality, it finally acknowledges through much, pain and suffering and all that, it acknowledges the relationship between itself and the soul, which is the source of our lives, the personality life. It's a vehicle for the soul. And then a question comes. Who do I serve? And the first part of that answer at that time is I, the little self, serves the soul. At this point, the individual must understand and learn that to be a true leader is a humble server. And Leo's keynote is I am that, and that I am. So then we move to its polarity, Aquarius. Aquarius is a fixed mental energy, and it is ruled by Uranus, the harbinger of the new age that is rapidly emerging now. Uranus is an electric energy, and get this, the impulse to change an established order. That is what's happening. Uranus coming in, serving this new paradigm, it is bringing a disruption and crisis, not just in the kingdom called humanity, but in the planetary life itself. So, what if you talk about the unfolding story of light in Aquarius, it is the light that shines on earth across the sea. This light dispels the darkness with its purifying electric waters, so to speak. So, the very essence of Aquarius is brotherhood, love, group consciousness, and service. So, Alan Oken, who is a very well respected esoteric astrologer, in his book called Soul Centered Astrology, he points out that the rising sign of the earth is now in Aquarius. So it is now the field of expression for the whole soul of humanity. This is part of why everything is coming up. The very soul of this kingdom called humanity is having to express itself through this new paradigm called the energy of Aquarius. And it's in Aquarius that we ultimately, finally turn towards the field of world service. Most of all, Aquarius is the world server. And the I in Leo has now become the we in Aquarius. And we begin to consciously recognize our place and our purpose within the whole group, the greater group of humanity. The keynote for Aquarius is water of life am I, poured forth for thirsty men. Water of life am I, poured forth for thirsty men. So we are witnessing just an amazing time in our history right now. And we are literally being called to our divine service. Humanity is at a spiritual crossroads, and it is time and vital that we choose to wake up, to grow up, and to step up to embrace our true purpose and to remember who we truly are. We are a group of radiant spiritual entities who came here to serve and help fulfill the plan and the purpose of this earth logos. It has always been the divine will that we become the servers and the saviors of all the life forms on this planet. This is our true essence. This full moon is a perfect opportunity for all of us to consciously align with the purpose of the one in whom we live and move and have our being, this great entity, a conscious entity. So, what is the second part of the answer to the question, who do I serve? It is we serve all. And with much love, I wish you a blessed full moon. Thank you.
Well, we once again a blessed full moon. So I have a question.
Yes.
How does one come to understand how to be of divine service? Is that a
How to
doing?
be, yes. Uh, Seriously, as I was saying, through a unfolding consciousness, and that entails a lot of work in many lifetimes. At some point in the journey of the soul through its personality lives, it will a fit personality will recognize. That's the first thing that happens with the personality. It recognizes duality of itself. And that duality is always about there is me and there is another, the personality and the soul. The soul, one of its great aspects, its truth, goodness, and beauty, but it is service. The soul is here to serve that great entity, that spiritual essence that we truly are. It is here to serve that purpose. And it's through evolution of consciousness that ultimately we understand and acknowledge that it is not my will, but thy will. It is not I that serves myself. It is me that now has to serve the group. And this is the great polarity between Leo and Aquarius. This is the whole working out of coming into a realization that I am not here as a separated anything. I am not a separated entity. I belong to a great group, not just a soul group, but a great spiritual group called the Monads of Love, for heaven's sakes. We are here to serve. That is the purpose of our. So Blavatsky, Madame Blavatsky, years ago, I love this. She puts it all in one thing. The personality is the vehicle of the soul, as the soul is the vehicle of the spirit. There you have the great Trinity that I've been talking about through the Ageless Wisdom presentations, by the way. So, yes, it's through a conscious evolution of awareness. You know that word, Paul, of
Perfect.
awareness that we come to understand who we are and what our true purpose is. When somebody says, what do you think your purpose is? I said, I know what my purpose is. I am here to serve the agenda of my soul. Period. That's it. Good question.
And when we fall, how do we pick ourselves up again?
Well, then we come into that center point and we realize that every single thing, and I'm going to say this now, every single thing that's unfolding on this planet in the consciousness of the collective consciousness of humanity has a spiritual cause. That is when I step back from everything and look at that and remember that the cause of everything is spirit, then I can come back into that center point and not and be more in a place of peace. This is a practice that must be undertaken. It's work here. This is the work. Yeah.
All right. Another wonderful journey. Give us again the mantra for this full moon.
Yes, it is in Aquarius. It is water of life am I, poured forth for thirsty men. Poured forth for thirsty men. And we are thirsty, are we not?
That's
Yes.
right. So I'm going to go have a drink
Yeah. Good on you.
Yeah, and we always appreciate your words about the full moons, and we look forward to more of the teachings from the ancients' wisdom too. So,
Thank you.
thank you,
Thanks,
Bev.
Paul. Thank
Thanks,
you,
everybody.
everyone.